What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are back with some World of Warships action. And yes, once again, it is me playing. Desperate. I'm continuing to try and keep my word to continue to play and feature more of my own content rather than just relying on replays from you guys. Having said that, this is a replay, but it's my replay. So that makes everything fine. We are on two brothers in the Tier 7 Japanese battleship, the Nagato, a ship that a lot of people have always kind of criticized, but personally it's actually probably one of my favorite battleships in the Japanese line. Now, since I kind of did stop playing World of Warships for a fairly extended period of time, my ability to aim has deteriorated. So I've been struggling to get sort of Tier 9 matches in Iowa and Tier 10 in Montana and Yamato. So I thought, let me go down to the lower tiers and try and get back into the swing of things there. And you already saw the first video from that with the Fuso video I did last week. So in this one, I stepped it up a tier, went to Tier 7 with the Nagato. Now, as I said, two brothers. We are going down to the left-hand side of the map towards the 1 and 2 line, so our right-hand side, I guess, and we are going to try and hold off the enemy there. Now, this battle is going to be one of those really, really frustrating battles. Nagato, it's not really a sniping battleship. I mean, it can do it, its guns are accurate enough, but it's kind of, to me, it works better when you start trying to close distance and try and get up close and personal. I don't necessarily mean 5 kilometers, but, definitely 10 to 15. And this is just one of those matches, and the enemy's also got a Nagato. In fact, let's quickly go over the teams. Mostly 6 and 5 battleships, fused 7s here and there in terms of the 2 Miyokos, Mahan, Hatsuharu, the Polish thing. So we've taken our first shot at the enemy Nagato, and he just hit the brakes, and our shots sailed harmlessly into the water in front of him. But as I say, this is one of those things where, for me personally, this ship really starts performing well when you push. And the unfortunate thing with a battleship that requires you to push is sometimes your team doesn't want to. The same sort of thing can make the Tirpitz very frustrating to play, because you're trying to push, you're trying to get close, and your team's just not quite doing it. I think there's a replay bug there. Cleveland looked like he was stopped, but I led him quite a bit, so I'm guessing that he was actually sailing forward, and indeed he was. These shots look pretty good. 6 hits for just under 15,000 damage. And that's pretty much what's going to happen in this battle. You can see I was trying to already start pushing and close distance, but my cruisers, turned away, or at least one of them did. And I don't really know who's going to commit with me, so I don't really want to just push straight in right now, because I think these are shots coming in from the Nagato, aimed for me. We're turning away, and we managed to dodge most of them, only taking 4,000 odd damage. He pulls the same trick again and stops, and once again my shells land in the water. Now, what I should have been doing, because my aim is off and reading the speeds of the enemy ship is not quite what it used to be, I should have been, firing them individually or sequentially firing them and aiming them at different spots. But old habits die hard. And here we're going to do just that. We're going to just walk the shells backwards a little bit. Incoming salvo from him. We've slowed down a bit and we turned in towards them, so we managed to dodge all of his shells. And he manages to dodge all but one, so we hit him for 4,500 damage. So not bad. Got a New York here. But as I was saying, because I was unsure of who in my team was going to commit with me, I didn't want to just charge in and land up becoming the sole focus of all the battleships and cruisers and destroyers. So I was also playing a little bit passively now, because again, I didn't know what they were going to do. I'm going to try again and sort of start heading towards them and show my teammates that I want to push, but again, it doesn't quite work out, I don't think. And New Mexico does the same thing. He stops, and unfortunately we lose Tail Berlin to a detonation, which is very unfortunate. Cleveland ran himself aground, 15.5 kilometers away from me. But the main reason why I'm showing you this battle, besides the frustrating part, is that it's also one of those games that the result kind of sneaks up on you. I don't really, while I was playing this, I certainly didn't feel like I was having a great game, but the results kind of speak otherwise. About 10,000 damage there from 3 hits. And yeah, so in the end of it, the results were pretty good, and I was happy with them. Even, as I say, if it didn't necessarily feel like it was a great game while I was playing it. Incoming shots from the Cleveland. Some nice high explosive spam coming. But we also was like slowing and turning and that, so they miss. New Mexico at 14. And I got some torpedoes as well. We are turning away because again, now all of our ships have decided to go into the small island chain, including our 2 battleships, which is an interesting choice in my opinion. 4 hits and an incapacitation for 8,300 damage. I'm going to have to go in here because I don't have anywhere else to go. Because I committed to a turn to starboard. But we are taking some serious hits from both Clevelands who are focusing us down. We have been set on fire, but we're just going to let it burn out. Unless, of course, we get a second fire or potentially even a third. So New Mexico is now fairly close. We're just waiting on all our guns to align. Take the lead, and we're going to give him a full volley. And I was confident that time that he wasn't going to have enough time to slow down, but unfortunately it does. Still 2 hits for 6,600 damage. I must say that certainly since the last time I played World of Warships, generally the player base does seem to have gotten a lot better on average. You know, there always used to be the good players who varied their speed and that sort of thing, but I'm noticing a lot more players have picked up on all of that. So he's lost one of his front guns. We're going to sequentially fire the turrets and just walk them back a little bit in case he does once again pull the same trick and slow down. This time we could have perhaps laid a little bit more, and RNG wasn't quite on our side. 2 hits for 4,000, what was it, 4,200. Torpedoes coming in, so we do know there's also a destroyer in this area, and they're going towards, I believe that was a New Mexico on our side. This guy is burning. I think we are slowing down so we can try and get one more salvo off on him. All guns reloaded, and we're going to fire a full salvo. And how do these ones do? Looking very good. 6 hits, 13,700 damage. And now I believe we may even start reversing here because I don't think I can make the turn to port. And there is a destroyer in front of us. Or am I going to try and make this turn? I don't quite remember. But there is going to be at least one portion of reversing in this game. So, New York at 13 kilometers. Just going to try and get the front guns around. Replay bug, I'm guessing. Fired before they were ready. But it's not hacks, I promise. And these are looking pretty good. A Citadel, 16,700 damage, and an incapacitation. Now, I noticed that I'm going to be coming around this island very close to it, which is going to give me little to no time to react should there be a torpedo salvo coming in, so I immediately begin turning hard to port. Shots coming in from the New Mexico, manages to get a Citadel and possibly another hit, 13,500 damage, so nice shot to him. And he's now immediately begun turning in towards us. Nagato from 18 gets another hit, 4,500 damage. This guy really was like my nemesis in this match. All guns on target and fire a full salvo. And we're just going to have to wait and see how those do. And 3 hits. Unfortunately, he's not spotted, so we don't get to see how much damage we did. But hopefully it was substantial. So again, we're going to have to just continue pulling back because my team doesn't seem to want to really go below the E line. Take some more hits, but armor bounces most of it, only take 1,000 damage, but then we take another 4,000, presumably from the Nagato once again. But don't worry, we will get our revenge a little bit later when he least expects it. New Mexico, just trying to get all guns on target. Again, you just got to wait for those front guns to swing around. And there's a Cleveland at 16. Our rear guns can shoot at him. We're just going to line it up and take the shot. Front guns are now ready on the New Mexico. And we're going to fire before he goes behind the mountain, hopefully. And unfortunately, all of our shots did impact the mountain. And you could actually see there, as I fired, or a fraction of a second before I fired, the crosshair actually dipped. And it's something it only seems to do in the replay system, where the crosshair will dip like that and show you that you're actually going to hit the mountain. It doesn't seem to do it in game. Kind of wish it did, because I should have been able to sneak over that little ridgeline. So I'm moving forward again, all guns loaded, and just waiting for a nice shot on the New Mexico that is currently not spotted. And I see the Hatsuharu. Again, I'm guessing replay bug. Take a full salvo at him. Managed to land 7 hits for like 90% of his hit points, and managed to get Confederate. So now here's the reversing portion I was talking about. I immediately throw the ship into reverse, turn the nose and point it directly at the direction where his torpedoes will be coming from, and begin to back up. New Mexico has decided to start firing at us, does 3,000 damage with that hit. Front guns are on target and have reloaded, so let's see how those do. There's the Nagato. Unfortunately, we don't have a shot on him. Only managed a single hit, unfortunately. But we are backing up now, which is not something I can say I have done a whole lot of times in a battleship. The Hatsuharu manages to set us on fire, and now all our cruisers have moved over closer towards the island. Not sure why exactly. There's plenty of stuff over here that needs killing. Nagato 19.6. I don't think he's paying attention to us, so I fire a full salvo at him. And we're going to see how these do. They're actually looking pretty good, got pretty good grouping, and they're going to drop right into the center of his ship. 2 hits and a citadel for 20, I think it was 22,000 damage. So not a bad little salvo there. New Mexico at 18.5, but we got this other one at less than 10 kilometers. So I'm just trying to swing the ship and get all guns on target. I'm going to fire the front guns as they are ready, and then I presume I'm going to keep swinging. Managed to get an incapacitation and a hit for no damage. The rear guns are now ready, so I'm going to fire just in front of him. But he is going to hit the map border, but it doesn't matter. 2 hits for 9,500 damage, and we get high caliber. He manages to land some decent shots on us and do some damage as well. Nearly ready on the front guns, just backing up and making sure that I'm not going to collide with this New Mexico. And it seems that that 22,000 hit salvo on my nemesis over there has caused him to once again pay attention to us. So New Mexico in front of us is using his heal ability, with repair party, and has built his hit points back up to a fairly significant amount. I'm just trying to decide on who to target here, because I don't really have a good shot at anyone. Unfortunately, we take 5,500 damage from the Nagato, and he knocks out one of our front guns. However, the situation of not having a decent shot on anyone has changed, as that New York turns and presents a fairly decent broadside. Shots going in, looking good. 4 hits for 9, just shy of 9,000 damage. And our front gun was ready for a split second, and then the New Mexico decided to take it out for us. Got some more torpedoes coming in from that Hatsuharu, I think. I think it must be him. Is he still alive? Yeah, it's the Hatsuharu, and it looks like we will be able to get out of their way without having to actually do anything. New York, another stab at him, and in fact I probably should have gone for the New Mexico here. I did not see that he was turning and giving us a nice broadside when I fired those shots. And I screw up the salvo on the New York anyway, only managing a single hit for no damage. However, this New Mexico, this allied New Mexico in front of me is, I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He's just seen a wave of torpedoes come out of those islands. He knows there's a destroyer right there, but he is now pushing forward. I'm sure we can all guess how that's going to end for him. There is the Hatsuharu at 8 kilometers. I don't think I quite have a shot on him, or actually I might, but I'm not going to take it, or am I going to take it? Or am I going to go for Nagato? And there we go. New Mexico is out of the fight. Nagato is turning and exposing his broadside a little bit, but then so are we. Fire off a salvo and slow down, and he pretty much does the same thing. He manages to get 5,000, we manage to not get anything. Here is Mr. New York again, and now there's also this New Mexico. Going to see who is giving us a better target. I'm turning here. I do realize that I was exposing myself to that Nagato, but I had to head back again because no cruiser support, and I am fully aware that there is this Hatsuharu in the area, and I really don't feel like getting torpedoed. Incoming shells from the Nagato. Thankfully, he doesn't aim them too well. Managed to get a Citadel there on the New York and leave him on perilously low health. But thankfully, that Nagato did not aim particularly well, and we only took very minor damage because that could have been really, really bad. But so would continuing on our course and heading closer to the unspotted destroyer. Now, I'm not terribly worried about the guns on the New York. I see he's going to go straight and run around, so I'll fire off 2 turrets at him. I just need a hit. 1 hit, and there we go. Finish him off. Just under 1,300 hit points remaining, so there was no need to fire a full salvo. Although RNG does very often in that situation just completely screw you when you try and do that. When you've got a very low health target and you only fire 1 or 2 guns, very often the dispersion is then horrendous, and you get little to nothing, or you don't get the kill. So unfortunately, Nagato disappeared. New Mexico, we can't fire at him anymore. Wait, Nagato's back. Replay bug, I guess. Again, I'm guessing. He's fired, so we're going to begin turning the other way. And we take 2,000 and nothing. So, fortunately, his shells seem to be attracted to my ship a lot more than mine are attracted to his. New Mexico appears to be moving forward slowly, so we fire the rear guns. Unfortunately, 2 of the shells impact on the mountain. And 1 hit for 1,200 damage. Front 2 guns are nearly ready. Looks like he's maybe standing still now with the engines at full stop, so we fire more at his actual ship, but looks like maybe he was actually moving backwards. Another hit for 1,260. So this time we're going to fire behind him, or rather further back on his ship, and these are looking better. 2 hits, 3,000 done, and our second kill of the match. And with that, there's less than a minute left. And I'm sure you will agree that this map really didn't seem to be particularly special. And here you can see, I mean, right there you can see the aiming reticle doing its thing, showing me in the replay whether I can shoot over the mountain or not. I really wish they would implement that into the game itself, because that would save a lot of us, especially battleship drivers, a lot of frustration. But that is actually about it. We're not really going to get to do much to this Nagato. He's not spotted. There's 10 seconds left. So let's go off to the results. Right, so thanks to the 20-minute timer running out, it was indeed a victory. And I'm sure you'll agree, looking at the battle performance ribbons, nothing terribly special there. And you can kind of see why I say this is one of those games that didn't really feel all that special. 300,000 credits, not bad. 4,600 experience. We got Dreadnought, Confederate and high caliber, 55 target hits, 6 incapacitations, 2 kills, and 3 citadels. We came first place on the team with 2,048 base experience. Second place was the Königsberg with 1,200. First place on the enemy team was the Farragut with 841. And then as for damage done, 163,000 armor-piercing damage. That took me by surprise. I didn't expect it anywhere near that much. So that's why I say this is one of those games where it didn't really feel, and even after watching this, it still doesn't feel like it was a good result like that. But the numbers don't lie. So 163k damage, which is pretty spectacular, or pretty awesome, I think. But yeah, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships, Armored Warfare, and a few other things that are thrown into the mix from time to time. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.